Quaker wisdom reads, look for your truth within yourself. Live life simply, love, and in service. Let your life speak.
Our students have stories to tell. They're in the middle of telling their story right now. So we're just only going to hear their stories at one point in time and hopefully garner what they've learned. But even more important sometimes than telling the story and being a good storyteller is being a good listener.
Imagine a typical spring day. You know, the type of gorgeous day that's beginning to transition to summer. Suddenly at that moment, I didn't want to be home. I was suffocating, and being there made me more uneasy. I had to leave. So I called my dog, and I put her harness on, and I loaded her into the car. I parked, I got out, and clipped her leash on, and off we went. I soon found myself sitting at a picnic table. And Chloe looked at me as if, why are we stopping? So I picked her up, sat her on the table, and obediently she sat still and just observed me. She knew. And my self-loathing was at an all-time high. I had reached the end of my rope. I needed to do something. I couldn't live like this any longer. I was exhausted. What was wrong with me? Then it happened. I looked into those big brown eyes staring at me. She was calm and sitting patiently. She didn't take her eyes off of me. It was like she was looking into my soul. A firm, strong voice said, "She's your blessing. She loves you unconditionally." In spring, Chloe gently licked my face. At that moment, I realized she needed me to live. I was blessed to be her caretaker, and no one could take my place. That divine voice made me realize I needed to get up. So with every last bit of strength I had left inside, I stood up and I said, "Let's go home, Chloe." That day was June 5th, 2014. After getting home and talking to my parents, we decided I had to go to emergency. I was placed in care and spent the night in a mental health facility. I don't remember very many details that day, but the next day I was released, and that's when my journey began. I was diagnosed with PTSD and depression. This diagnosis was the answer to so many questions. It explained many years of anguish, confusion, isolation, and sadness. I had reached my rock bottom, but I was given a second chance. A literal do-over. I stand before you today to share my story. In these short 3 years, with lots of help, I am able to look back and realize I was not alone. Like Chloe, there are people that care about me. They want me to succeed, and they need me to live. I know now that I had to experience that brokenness in order to recognize the love that I had in my life. It took my dog to show me. I know that there are others that are experiencing the same struggle, but unsure what to do. I encourage you to seek help. There's no shame in finding answers. You're not expected to keep it together by yourself. But look around you. You will find love in the least obvious places. Take that risk and find your Chloe.
What were your dreams when you was a kid? That question I had in my mind for many years. I grew up with my mom. She was a single mom, but I was happy. She was my perfect soul. She encouraged me to be a perfect daughter. That was my dream. Came here, meet people, have fun, go Disneyland, and everything was perfect, perfect. But one day, my mom started feeling bad. So after that time, 1 year later, she died. And I was very sad. I lose everything. Later, I start to be strong. And one day, I met a guy by internet, American guy. So I start to dream again. So I can find the perfect prince, and I can get married, I can come here to the United States and go to Disneyland. And I have another dream. I want to become a psychologist, so I can come to the college. So I was very happy. And the first time I met him, he abused me. He was a sex offender. So it was more worse for me when I was with him. I met another guy. I thought it was perfect because he inspired me. He made me laugh, and I was happy again. But when I get pregnant, he left me. He left me. So I was alone again. But now, pregnant. And I was living in a shelter with no money, no parents, no siblings, nothing. A few months ago, I made my first dream. I went to Disneyland with my daughter. Yeah, I was very happy. And then the second dream comes true. I start coming to the college. Yes, and that is very awesome. Well, I'm starting ESL classes, but I try to make my life better. But the wishes come true. Thank you.
So I'd like you to take a minute, please close your eyes, and think back when you were a child. Think of the dreams that you once had, and ask yourself, are you fulfilling those dreams? Are you where you want to be in life?
To those who believe that I'm not capable of being a tutor, I want you to know that the way I speak or the way I look doesn't determine how my brain works and how smart I can be.
So I'm going to do a little activity with you guys. Don't worry, I'm not coming in your face. I'm just coming right here. I want everyone to just quick second, turn around, find someone you don't know, give them a quick hi, how you doing? Can we do that real quick, please? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, everybody. Now, Chris, how are you really doing, Chris?
I'm doing great.
How are you? No. Come on, how are you really doing?
No, I'm really enjoying myself. Never been to this sort of thing. I've never been to Adobe. This place is fantastic. The finger food they've prepared. It's been really interesting. I've really enjoyed the stories, and I think I've gotten a lot out of them.
Great.
Actually, I can't imagine a better way to have spent my Friday night.
There we go, people. There we go. As you can see, we all have something to say. We have a lot in our chest. We're human. We want to say. We also want to be listened to. And this is why I'm going to ask everyone to go out and ask someone, maybe someone you don't know how they're doing. Wait. Let's just scratch that. Ask someone how they are really doing. Really get it out of them. Let's see how they're doing. See what they say. See what they have going on in there. Because if you can come here tonight and listen to me for 10 minutes, you can all go out there and listen to someone else for 10 minutes. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Some of us are not given that beautiful road to walk. We have to make our own. We have to cut through the shrubs, and we have to pull through.
As y'all see me standing here today, the first thing that you might notice is, you would notice my headscarf. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, why does she wear a headscarf? Why would she have to wear one? What is she hiding? In fact, the hijab in general just means to cover up. Why is it just women? In our religion, we compare women to diamonds. They're thought of as jewels. What do you do with diamonds? You hide them, you preserve them, you keep them somewhere safe, and you only show them to people that you love, that you care for, that you trust. And the thing is, women have to realize that you actually have the power to show and what not to show of your body. And so when I started wearing this whole getup, I guess you would say, is just that I get to control what you see. You don't get to see my curves unless I tell you. You don't get to see my hair unless I let you. You know, and that's what the power gave me. Anyone to learn anything from this today is just that. Learn that you need to love yourself before you give love to others. Learn that all hijabis are not the same. You know, recognize that, yes, I'm a Muslim. Yes, I wear hijab. Some Muslim women, they wear it because of the religion. I wear it because I want to build my strength before I conquer this world with all of you in it. That's what I wanted you all to hear from me today, and just thank you for coming out.
So tonight, I would like to share a little of my story and how I mothered even before I knew what mothering was. How I allowed pain to consume me, and how learning to mother through that pain eventually saved my life. At a young age, my mother was diagnosed with lupus, and for those who don't know what lupus is, it's basically when your body sees itself as a virus, and it attacks itself and slowly kills itself. It's very painful. For whatever reason, I don't know what it was, but the hospital couldn't get a hold of me. And I don't know what it was, but I just said, "Did she pass away?" And he said, "Yeah." And I just remember throwing the phone and screaming. And I don't remember too much after that. And that's kind of when I lost it. I began drinking like crazy, and I fell into alcoholism. So I went to a rehab for a month, and after a month, I went to go live with my aunt, and I stayed with her for a year. So to this day, I'm coming up on 17 months sober.
Am I safe? This question attached to me before I was born. My father decides to cross into the United States, the land of the free. During this time period, the Obama administration would pass a Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. DACA would provide the reassurance for my safety that my parents had longed for. DACA also gave me the ability to become a tutor on campus. This would lead me to a pathway of being involved with student organizations, and these experiences would lead me to being introduced to the Associated Student Government. As I entered the position as president, my family would lose their house we rented for over 17 years. This hardship would leave my family and I homeless for a couple of months, until my parents bought a house. A process slowed down due to the upfront costs being higher because of our status. This valuable lesson to push forward and not let the label of being undocumented limit us. My name is Iriana. I'm an undocumented student. I share my story with you tonight as one of the millions of undocumented immigrants here in the U.S. who live in fear of our safety. We are daughters, sons, mothers, fathers, workers, colleagues, peers, and friends. Will you stand with us?
I will.